All right, good morning. Welcome to my stream. Let's see. Hopefully this new setup is still going to work for me. I was playing back the video yesterday and the sound was not good, shall we say. The balance wasn't right, and I don't know how to monitor that because I'm not a professional streamer. Let's switch over here. There we go. And oh right, I was rebuilding my rebuilding everything. You know what I want to do before I do anything more is do a, why is this there? I wanted to update Rust, right? That's a good first step because I think they just came out with 1.6.2. Let's see if I have it here. 1.6.2, yeah. So I think, what is it? Rust up update or something? Yeah. So we'll get 1.6.2, and then we'll bring our crates up to the latest using cargo update. This is taking a little longer than I thought it would. No, I'm not getting very fast download speeds, am I? Okay, so now we're running the latest here. So next would be let's see, cargo block shows all this stuff here. Wow, a lot of stuff. Okay, if I copy that old, just copy to old, and then I say cargo update, I should be able to do a diff and see what's changed, right? This is also slow. Okay, so while that's happening, let's talk about what we can work on today. Today's the last day of the week. Happy Friday. Hopefully you're having a good one so far. And we're going to do a little more editor stuff, and then next week we'll start something new. We'll come back to the editor every so often. The other thing, right, that was the other thing I wanted to look at there's still one more failure. Oh, got the space. There we go. Dart. I should echo this into a test dart. clocks.sh. That's a new file, right? And I can just make it executable. There. That way I won't forget what the command is if we lose our history. All right, yeah, we have this one failure left that we need to fix, and that's going to require actually understanding what this is doing. Most of the stuff I just mostly understood stuff. Hello, Buffet Codes. No, don't apologize. I just started. Don't worry about it. All right, so I did a cargo update. And let's take a look at the diff between the old and the new. All right, so a few things got updated. Unfortunately, we don't have a very good view of that. Let's try SDiff. There's one. Linked hash map got updated. I can look for the pipe character. Like that. What's this one? Mio. Not sure what that is. Parking lot. Surdy Jason. Small Vec. Okay, so a few things got updated, but not much. But we should be able to do a cargo build, right? And see it all. So we downloaded our new crates, and now we're building everything. Everything hopefully will still continue to work. And then what's option? Command 3 gets me that. I say cargo run. We use our test file, and then 2 greater than error, right? So once that's built, we should be able to run it, and everything should still just work. Yep, including the scroll, the highlighting still works, the bouncy cursor when we... You know what, let's take a look at NeoVim. How does NeoVim handle the bouncy cursor thing? Oh, why is this all messed up? Did I accidentally change the file and save it? Oops. All right. Yeah, what I want to do is change NeoVim to do soft wrapping, and I don't know how to do that yet. So let's look that up. NeoVim wrap long lines. Set wrap. I don't want line break, I just want wrap. So let's try set wrap. There we go. Okay, so now we do the jumpy thing, just like we do. And then if I go down where it has to scroll past 2. Oh yeah, okay, so the cursor does bounce up 1. All right, so I mean, our thing is doing the same thing. Buffet Koza says, I finished watching your stream of yesterday, so you're fixing the last compiler failures today. Not yet. I don't have the brain power this morning to do that. That's these changes here. I actually have to read this over and understand in detail what closing up values means. And I kind of understand this. And we're inserting something in a location. We have to create new up values if we can't find one, and I just need to make sure that I port it correctly. So I'm not going to do that today. Instead, I'm going to work on, I don't know, one of these things. What did we talk about? Multiple buffers. Figuring out how to do multiple buffers. Yeah, because we did this, we did this, we did this, we did this. Although the auto indent is only partly done, right? Because we can't, if I try to insert something here, right? If I hit return, we do get the indentation, right? But now if I want to go back a level, I got to go back. I got to delete each one of those. There's no shift tab yet. Yep, thanks, Buffet. Everything is all right with me. It's Friday. I need to take it easy. Let's take a look at doing a shift tab and seeing if we can do a shift tab. We can look back to see if it's all spaces in front of us, to the left of us, we can go back to the beginning of that tab. I don't know what that would take to do. Let's find out. Oops. Oh, editor syntax is what I have. That's why I keep messing up there. Okay. So here's Control S, Control Q. We're looking for Shift and Tab. So here's regular tab. So we can create a new. Let's copy these lines and do a Shift tab. And instead of insert char, we can say reverse tab, like that. So we just create a new reverse tab function, and we can throw that down here. Probably mute because we have to change the file possibly. Buffet Code says, why Shift Tab? You catch the backspace key and if auto indent mode is on, and then what's the level? Oh, yeah, because we don't store the level anywhere, right? We could, if I hit backspace here, right, it goes back one character. You're saying we could just have backspace go back. I guess it couldn't hurt to do it that way. Yeah. Well, let's give it a shot. I mean, we can do. Let's take a look at what the backspace is. So here's Control H, or the backspace key code, or the delete key code. Now the delete key code deletes forward. Right, and the way it deletes forward is it moves the cursor to the right by 1 and then deletes the character to the left of the cursor. So del char is, or del char, would be the thing that would have to change if we did it here. I'm just trying to think of, is there any cases where we'd want to backspace over spaces and not have a jump by the tab width? I can't think of any off the top of my head, but I don't use this editor in my daily. I mean, I would have to use the editor as my daily editor in order to say, oh yeah, here's a case where I wouldn't want this to happen. Buffet says backspace over spaces when there's some prefix available other than white spaces. Yeah. Let's see if we can just go back to the previous tab stop first. And unfortunately, I think tab stop is stored here in screen, right? Oh, no. There's no tab stop here. Where do we keep it? Here's kilo quit times. We have a kilo. We have a tab. No. Tab? No. Where do we do tabs? Okay, well, let's find out where we do tabs. Tab. Insert chart T. Oh, it's in the row render. That's right. We create a little trait there. Tab. Yeah, kilo tab stop. So it's defined right here as 8, and it's in the row code. Because what we're doing is we're modifying the. So we're inserting a tab. If I hit tab, we actually insert a tab. Oh, okay, there's a bug. Because it's supposed to insert a tab and then enter. Okay, so we broke something along the way. Let's fix this bug first before we do anything else. Let's fix the tab bug. So what it's supposed to do is, for the tab, it's supposed to insert spaces on the render side of things. Editor.rs. Oops. So tab. Insert char. We can look for that. We insert char. here in the row. So let's go to row. Oh, that's exciting. I don't know what that error was. I just ignored it. Insert char. So we just push the character, and then we render the row. And here's where we have to actually convert. Oh, I see. It's supposed to insert. Let's find out. Let's say dbg idx and then dbg idx at the end when we insert the character, right? Oh, I forgot to do this thing here. Cargo watch. Loopy test build. Mugafa says hello. Buffet Code says, can you describe the bug? Yeah, so what I'm doing is when you hit tab on a line, right? So if I go here and I hit tab, that was a tab key I just slammed. Hopefully you heard that. It's supposed to go 8 over, right? We're supposed to insert 8 spaces so that the cursor is in the correct location. And right now that's not working. Actually, what I can do is save. Let me hit tab here and save. Quit and see what happens. xxd t.cd plus where this is no good. There we go. So there should be a tab. There's the tab right there. So we're definitely inserting the tab. We're just not rendering it correctly. All right. Let's put this back to 60 so we can continue to test the wrapping. All right, so now we can look at error. It does say 1 and 8, so we are pushing spaces. Oh, you know what we might be doing is not... let's take a look at the editor code. No, the screen code, where we render out the row. Yeah, we're basing it off of the render. Huh. Maybe in move to. Oh, you know what we messed up move to. That's probably what we did here. When we're doing the soft wrap, we need to add render X. I think that's what's happening. We got to figure out this offset here. Buffet codes, maybe the trim whitespace command. The trim, the trim was just at the beginning of the line, and all that was doing was counting how many spaces there were. It didn't actually modify the data. So, yeah, so the bug is here, where we're not offsetting by render X. Render X is the location where we're supposed to put the cursor. And then based on tabs and everything. So I wonder if we need to just, I don't want to just add render X here, because this is modifying, oh, maybe pause X. Should be render X. Maybe that's it. Let's see if it's that. That might be too simple of an answer though. Okay, so if I hit tab, yeah, it puts it there. It seems to be doing just 2 tabs. Oh, yeah, now this, okay, so now we have another bug. So we've wrapped, but we didn't increment this thing here. So that's the pause Y business. Oh, and that's shift Y. So this is probably render X as well. right? Let's try that. So okay, I'll do 1, 1, 1, 1. All I'm doing is hitting tab. That's interesting though that it started wrapping already, and it shouldn't have done that. And that could be because our gap code is not correctly calculating. That's in clear, yeah. So there might be something here. Display height is rlen. Is this correct? We're checking the rows. We're passing in the rows. The rows have R is a row, right? And r.len returns, does it return the length of the characters? Ah, we need render len, not len. There we go. Okay, so I think that's causing that other bug. All right, let's find out. So I'll say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, it still shifts it. 13 tab. Yeah. It's still shifting. Oh, there's another tab over here. Oh, because there's already a tab. Oh, that's not a bug. There's actually a tab there. If I hit backspace, it should have gone to here. Oh, it sort of did. Okay, that's a different bug. If we have exactly this many characters on the screen, right? This cursor now is down here, but it's still on this line 3. So if I hit one more, it'll shift down. At backspace, it looks like we're at the beginning of this line, but we're not, because you can see we're still on line 3 here. So that's an interesting conundrum. That's an interesting edge case. How do you fix that? Anyway, I think, yeah, this is the end of the line. So if I do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, now it does it right. Okay. Yeah, let's think about what should happen if I'm on the very last character of the line. Should I leave the cursor here until the next character is typed? That would be weird, right? Because the next character I type would actually come after the D. If I type it X here, it's putting it before the D because I moved the cursor. So if I put an X here, then it shifts everything down. How does Vim work? Let's find out how Vim works. So if I, there's some spaces there. Oh, that was a tab. Okay, I'm not gonna worry about it. I'll delete that. So 1 tab. Oh, yeah, this is inserting spaces. Okay, so if I'm on the last character, ooh, that's right. Set wrap. Okay, so I'm just gonna type a bunch of numbers. Now if I type one more character, oh, it does the same thing. It does the same thing. So I typed one more character, and right now it's on the U. The cursor's on the U of U's, but I'm still on line 3. If I hit backspace, it deletes there. And if I hit one more, it shifts everything down. Okay, so I mean, if NeoVim does it, that's the way we'll do it too. All right, so I think that fixed these particular tab bugs. Yeah, there wasn't a lot to it. Oh, I got to remove these DBGs. is ASCII digit. Why does this suddenly get interested in this issue here? If I look at, oh, it's in there. It's in char. Let's take a look at char here. We have is digit and is ASCII digit. Nope, we can look here. Right, and then we can look for is ASCII digit. No, I guess not. Standard char, or is it in core char? Come on. I'm just looking for the functions on it, and I don't see any functions on it. I have from digit, from U32. Is ASCII digit. Let's see what this says. Yeah, this is what I was looking for. Checks if the value is an ASCII decimal digit, 0 to 9. And how does that help versus is ASCII alphanumeric? Is ASCII lowercase? Okay. And I don't know if there's a oh, okay. So all this is doing this match here. So maybe that's faster than checking it with the specific radix, right? Oh, it's probably telling me about this now because I updated Rust, and then maybe this is a new stable feature in Rust. Is ASCII digit. Let's find out if there's any. Okay, so that works. And let's just verify that. We get, yep, we still have digits highlighted. If I do page down, yep, all the digits, all the numbers are highlighted. If I go like here, and I put a big number, dot, another big number, dot, another big number. Ooh, that's right, we still have that bug. This dot should be white, and it isn't, it's still red. Okay, quit. All right, so that's that. Git status, git diff, that's clear. You can see it all. So we changed this, that was just a thing. We changed this to be the render len instead of the display, instead of the number of characters, because the render is different, right? We have a tab character in the file, but we're just displaying it as 8 spaces. And then this just change this. Okay, so git add source, git commit, fix tab display bug. Done. Okay. That was a little sidetrack. So, right, we have auto indent, and we were trying to figure out how to make it so you can backspace over tabs. So we have a del char here. So this would be the place we would do it. If we're deleting a character, and we're deleting a character that is a tab. Oh, right. We wanted to say if auto indent is on, which we don't have access to in the row. We don't have access to the options. But we can pass we can pass into del char. To previous tab stop. Right, we can just pass that in, and then this will fail all the places we call del char, and this will just be self options soft wrap. No, auto indent. Right. Okay. What is the option then? What's it called? Auto indent. didn't like it because expected bool. Oh, right. So we can make it a bool by just checking indentation. What is indentation? Oh, stop it. On or off. And now we're going to have to import indentation, right? Oh, no. Okay, that worked. But we do have warnings. And the warning is... Oh, right. We're not using the previous tab stop yet. Okay, so let's do that. So in row, we can take a look. If we're deleting a tab, then that's going to all just work. If we're deleting a space and we're at the end of the line, then we should delete back to the previous tab stop. Right? Okay, if add is greater than or equal to chars len, then false. Right, so we're talking about situation here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Len is 6, and so we have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And those are the characters we're deleting. So we come down here and we say if we're deleting a space, if at is equal to self chars len minus 1, we're deleting the last character. Then we want to end the last character as a space. Here's the logic we use to determine whether or not we're on a tab. Okay, let's see how we can do this. While self chars ends with space, and so we're going to say let prev stop is equal to self chars len mod right. We want to get the highest multiple of the tab stop that we can get. So actually we want to divide, right? We want to say divided by kilo tab stop, and then multiply that back, right? This will strip off the remainder. I guess we could just strip the remainder directly, right? Self chars len minus the mod of that. And that'll be the length we're looking for the previous stop. And self chars len is greater than prev stop. Self chars remove, can I say remove last? Or pop, right? We just say pop to remove the last one. Otherwise, we're going to do this business here. To previous tab stop. And that is that. We do want to remove the character we're removing, and then check this. Right, we always want to remove, and then re-render the row. Okay, so maybe this is it. So we'll remove that last character. If we're going to go back to the previous tab stop and we remove the last character, that's what this does. Then we're going to look for the previous tab stop and keep going backwards until we hit that tab stop. And keep popping, and then re-render the row. All right. Let's see what blows up. I should probably add some DBGs in here. Right. Okay, so if I come down here and I hit return, it automatically indents. If I hit backspace, it's just going to do that. But if I hit return here, and now I hit backspace, it does jump to the beginning of the line. Okay, let's see if we can do it for multiple levels of indentation. So, for example, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's up to this editor line here. So if I come here and hit end, go to the end of the line, and I hit return, it does auto indent this far. And if I hit backspace, it does line up here. And if I hit backspace again, it fails. It's not backspacing back over these spaces here. It's not even deleting anything. Oh, there it goes. Let's try again. Backspace, backspace. All right, if I go down and up, then it works. Okay, so there's a failure here. Oh, because we need to reset the cursor. I'm jumping back, but I'm not telling the screen code that the cursor is now in a completely different location to where it used to be. So del char. Oh. It's not the screen code, editor code. Here it is. So this is possible. Because all we're doing is subtracting 1 from cursor X. We have to say if self rows current row self cursor X is greater than or equal to self rows current row len, then else. Self cursor X equals self rows cur row len. Right? Buffet suggests that we log everything to a file. Yeah, I mean, if we had, right, if I had done that from the start, we could just write everything out to standard error as things are happening, and we can actually put that inside a feature. So we wouldn't have to take it out on release. That would be, yeah, actually, you know what? Let me get this working, and then we can try something along those lines really quickly. Oops. Expected U16 found U size. This is a U16, and this returns a U size. Yes, okay, so we can just say as U16 for both of these guys, right? Okay, so now let's try this. Quit. Let's run it. We go down a couple of pages to get to that same location, or a similar location. Backspace, backspace. Okay, so now it works. We're resetting the cursor to the correct location now. Okay, I think that's that. Right? That's all we needed to do for... yeah, that was a pretty straightforward change, right? We should test it with indentation off also, right? Let's go over here. Config kilo and change this auto indent off. And now page down a few times. Come over here to rows. If I hit return, now auto indent is there. If I space over and hit backspace, now it just backspaces one at a time. Okay. Whereas if auto indent is on, I should be able to insert a bunch of spaces here, and then it should backspace jumping a tab at a time. Perfect. Okay. So git. Let's make sure there's no warnings, there's no failures there. Git add source. Git commit -m backspace over tabs over indentation removes trailing spaces. Okay. All right. So then the other thing. So let's look at what features, the way feature flags work, and we already kind of have a feature flag in here, right? If we look at here, so CFG test kind of is a sort of a built-in feature flag where you can actually run cargo test and it'll turn on this feature and then it'll compile this code and everybody's happy. But if we do cargo feature flags, so we can create a feature by adding it to the cargo.toml and then check to see if that feature is enabled. And then we can set what the default features are. By default, all features are disabled unless explicitly enabled. So if we look at cargo.toml, I can just add a features. Is it with plural or singular? Yeah, plural. Keystroke log. Right? And once we have that, we can save that, and it's by default it's off. But what we can do now is in our editor, where do we read the key code? Right here. So we can look at each event as it comes in and log it with that feature. So we can do CFG like this, and then you check it here, feature equals, right? Keystroke log, I think I called it. It'll complain if it's not there, and I can just say println, right? So this one line now is being controlled by this feature flag. So if I save that, yep, and now it's not going to do anything because the feature is not enabled. I say cargo run this, and I can push the down arrow, push the up arrow. If I say less error, there's nothing there. But if I run it with that feature, is it feature equals or feature space? Keystroke log. It fails. Features. It's plural. I had to rebuild it, but that's okay. And now I push the down arrow, push the up arrow, I hit quit. And if I look here, we can see all the down arrows, the up arrows, and the control Q. So that's kind of neat. By default it's off, but we can turn it on. And then we can do all sorts of features like that. Or all sorts of logging features like that. This will also do, oh, I see. That's right. I put the resize thing in here. So we can actually go in here and change this and say, well, we can read the event itself that we translate then into these things. Why did I do this as an error? That's weird. Now I want to refactor this. Pub enum input event. And it's either going to be a key event or it's going to be a resize U16. and otherwise it does an error. So this would be an input event, and this would be return key, OK key event. Otherwise it's an OK resize. Otherwise it's going to be a result called key read fail. And then we have to go to the other file. Oh, Flappy, thank you for the follow. Oh, okay, so let's pull this out. This is process key press. It should actually be process event. And we should get the event, and then the event is going to be either a key event right, or which is going to be one of these guys, or it's going to be a resize event, and that's going to be here, right? Input event resize, call row, self screen resize, call row. Sounds like I'm saying call row. Okay, but these needs to change, right? Because these are no longer key events. These are now key events, right? So I'd have to wrap each one of these. Buffet Code says, did you see the Rust release log yesterday? Yes, I did see that. I was actually talking about that yesterday. I was saying I'm looking forward to doing that. So we can add that too. Let's take a look at, so this is an input event. So I want to say match C is input event key. It's going to be process. This will be process key press of the key. And then all of this goes into another file. Whoa, that was too much red. Delete. Okay, so this is the way we have process the event now. And then down here, we'll process the key press itself. Fn process key press self. And then the key is going to be key event, like that. And then this is a very long function, so I'm happy I'm getting it out of the main loop here. That's not going to work because we need a match on key here. Like that. Okay. And here's the otherwise do nothing case. Okay. So I think process key press with 2 S's. This should be process event. Like that. Okay, did we successfully refactor this or did everything blow up? Let's find out. And this is where it would be nice to have tests. Oh, input event key. This expression has type keyboard input event. Oh, this is the prompt, right? This means that the prompt also needs to handle self keyboard read option prompt key. If that means when we're in the prompt, we're not handling resize events yet. Maybe that's another thing we need to fix. But let's do this. If let OKC's self keyboard read let C is equal to if input event key C equals C, and C, otherwise continue, and just ignore it. And that should strip the, or modify the event back to the key that we need. This should be, I guess we can't do it that way. Let's do it this way, input event. Can we do that? Not found in the scope. Really? Oh, I missed the let. Cargo add crate. Yeah, so I already had that as a cargo edit. What's the command to do a cargo? There's a install dash list. Yeah, this cargo edit provides cargo add. So that's the thing I had. So now it's part of default cargo. Oh yeah, well Gaffa says, to be fair, we've had cargo add for a while with cargo edit, but it's nice that now it's part of the core. So are these going to fight each other then? If I say cargo add, which one gets run? Or can I remove? Can I say uninstall cargo edit? Okay. How do you remove it? Cargo help add. Can add. Is there something at the bottom that says here's how you remove? See also cargo. Nope. Oh, it's RM. That's annoying. Thanks, Wigaffa. Ooh. Okay. Let's take a look at the docs. Cargo 1.62, remove package. The core must have different. This command removes a package, installs the cargo install. Cargo add refuses to add non-vendor. Cargo machete. Oh, add crate. Right. Cargo now has native support for the cargo add command. Is there a link to it in here somewhere? Nope, not there. All right, I mean, it's simple enough to remove, right? Boom, gone. Okay, but there should be if we can do cargo add, we should be able to do cargo remove. So what are we in the middle of? I forget what we're in the middle of. Oh, okay, here. 614, we have an error. In process key press. Expected nothing, but found. Oh, right. We do need to say whether or not we're exiting. That's right. So screen resize. Self-screen resize returns a bool. Oh, no, it doesn't. It doesn't. It's got to return. Yeah, returning a result bool. And this resize returns nothing. So we need to actually do this, right? Say do this and then say, okay, true. Oh, I forget if true means continue going or false means continue going. Let's see. Yes, so false means continue editing. True means we're quitting. And we can make this return the bool here, right? Option bool or just bool? Oh no, it's a result. Okay, so let's just make this a... Let's do it like this. Return false, return true. Are there any other returns in this thing? No. And so at the end of the function, we're going to just say false. Right? And then over here, we'll just say okay of this. And otherwise we die. Die exits. So why are we returning a result then? Are there any other places where key press has to... I don't think we need it to be a result anymore. We can just return false or true directly. Right? We can just do this. We can do this. Because we don't care about errors. Right? And then down here, we don't need the question mark anymore. We're still bad. Why? Oh, over here is where we return false. Oh, okay. So we're going to say if this, return true. That's kind of painful if you ask me, but I'm sure we'll come up with a better scheme in a minute. Okay, so that works. So we're saying if process keeper says we're quitting, then return true. Otherwise, we're going to do all this stuff and return false. Not the best code, but at least this is all refactored now. The Gaffa says, yeah, I don't see any remove command on cargo. I think I'll stick to cargo edit for now. Yeah, that's weird that one thing would not be included. Very strange. Okay, so that's been refactored. What are we aiming at even? Multiple buffers at some point. You got to get multiple buffers working. Okay. So what we got? So we refactored this. Oh, I added that keystroke logging thing. Right, and that's what got me into this whole event thing. And I said, why are we returning an error code to say we resize? So let's just make sure that we can resize. We don't need that feature anymore, right? Okay. So this should resize the screen, and it does. It should make it narrow, and it does. This should go away in a couple of seconds, and it did. Okay. Yeah. So the resize stuff is still working. The keys can still key. So we didn't break anything by doing that. That's the good news. Oh, yes, we did break something. I can't quit. Okay. This calls for an external command to kill that. That's interesting. So why is that happening? Let's look at kilo quit times. Maybe what's happening is, here's quit times. At the end of process event, we set this to this. Oh. Let's look for control Q. Ah, I see. I see. So process key press shouldn't just return false and true. It also should return an enum. Let's make an enum here for key press result. It's either going to be continue, which means just do your normal processing, exit editor, which means what it says on the tin, and then we're in the middle of a quit operation, quitting. And that's what's going to come back from process key press. Right, so this will just be a key. Oh, man, my brain just doesn't remember things. Key press result. Okay, so now this is going to be key press result quitting. This is going to be key press result exit editor. And then at the end, it's just going to be regular old key press result continue. Mana says sounds like a state machine rather than a simple enum. Yeah, I mean, sort of, kind of, right? Because we're in the state of, in the process of quitting. And if we're in that state, then we don't want to reset quit times. That's the whole point of doing this, is right over in quit times. Right, we don't want to reset this if we're quitting. So that means we're going to change this to be match, right? And if it's key press event exit editor, we're going to return true. If it's key press event continue, then we're going to say self quit times is equal to kilo quit times, and then key press event quitting is do nothing, because we're just counting quit times. And that fails because I need an arrow. Key press event undeclared type. Oh, it should be result. Okay, so now let's see if this will work. So we can still move. We can still resize. Quit. Ouch. Okay, that didn't work. I hit one control Q and oh, because I didn't modify anything. Okay, duh. All right, so let's modify stuff. Control Q, 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 done. Okay. So that seems to do the trick. I think that's a pretty clean solution. Right, so we've refactored the input event so we can get a key or a resize. There's other stuff we can get, right? Well, this is the cursive crate. Wow, that was annoying. Let's do this. And I can just look for cross term. Right, and then what was the other... What are the other events we can get? A mouse event. Oh, should we add mouse support? Disable mouse capture, enable mouse capture. A stream of events. When would you get an event stream? This type is not available by default. You have to use the event stream feature flag to make it available. Implements features, stream trait, and allows you to receive events with async or Tokyo. That's kind of neat, although I think that might be a little beyond what we need to do. I still do need to learn how to do async programming. I've never done it in JavaScript and I've never done it in Rust, so the way I do async stuff is I spin up multiple threads. All right, so we can get mouse events. represents a mouse button, a mouse event kind. Down, up, drag, move, scroll up, scroll down. Interesting. Interesting. Should we add mouse support? I don't know. What happens now if I do mouse stuff in here? If I click, it ignores it. If I scroll up and down, it's scrolling up and down the window itself. If I drag, it highlights stuff. Ooh, I don't want to do that. That's funny. Okay. I can drag stuff around, but that's all being handled by the terminal itself. It's not being handled by Crossterm. Matta says async in Rust isn't too complicated until you get to a lifetime issue. That's general Rust comment, right? It's not too bad until you get to a lifetime issue. Yeah, okay, so I think this refactoring is done now. Git add source, git commit, refactor, input events. Oh, that's good enough. I don't have to explain why, I just did it. Okay, so yeah, let's see, can we get mouse events? Let's find out. In the keyboard, it would be here. It's either going to be key, this read is this read, not this read. That's confusing. Maybe I should make it more explicit. Right? And then these events here, I have key, which returns input event key. I have resize, which returns input event resize. So can we get, if I return this error code, key result code fail. So what happens now when we do this? In editor, keyboard read. Oh, we just say if it's okay. Oh, we're saying self die, unable to read from keyboard. So that means we're not getting mouse events. I'm clicking, if I click in here, I'm not getting any mouse events. Do I have to enable this? Some platforms terminals do not report mouse button for mouse event kind up. Mouse button left is returned if we don't know which button was used. Okay. Do I have to enable mouse capture first? And then disable mouse capture. Writes an ANSI representation of this command to the given writer. Oh, right, so it's an escape sequence. That makes sense. Mouse. Not listed there. All right. Let's try this. This looks like an output thing. So what happens if we do this in our... Here's terminal enable raw mode. And that's just inside Crossterm itself. Whoops. So do I just say self screen capture mouse? And then we can do release mouse down here. And then in our screen code, we can add a new pub function somewhere. There's new, there's draw rows. Let's do it right here. Pub fun capture mouse self. And this should be self standard out. Execute. I've forgotten how the execute thing works. Let's take a look at how execute, because I don't need to queue it and then flush it. I can just execute it directly. Executable command, execute. Oh, it's a macro. Okay. Execute. So I can just say cross term, execute, bang. Self standard out. Enable mouse. Oh, capture mouse? I've forgotten it already. Enable mouse capture. And then we have to handle result code. So we can just say result. So we just do that, and then release mouse is going to be similar. Disable mouse capture. Right, and then we just question mark this over here, and question mark this over here, and we're done. Okay, so let's see if this at least captures the mouse. Oops. Oh, because release. There we go. So what happens here? And now if I click, ooh, oh, see, I'm moving the mouse and it's outputting. Ooh, that's fun. So we've captured the mouse and then we died having captured the mouse. And I know why we died. It's because we're not processing the mouse events. So let's fix that, and then we can determine what. Well, what is the input event? Mouse event kind. Is that what it is? We're gonna, for now, let's just do nothing. No, it doesn't like that. It's not a mouse event kind. It's just mouse event. No, mouse button. Let's take a look. It's event. Oh, it's just mouse. Okay, mouse event. Just say mouse underscore. And that way we'll ignore the mouse event for now. Let's do this. So now, yeah, I can move the mouse around now, and we're generating a bunch of events by doing that, but that's okay. And actually what we can do is log them, right? ME for mouse event, and we say dbg bang, ME. Like that. The warning is saying that we're not handling. Oh, there are no other patterns. Okay. So we can never return a result code from here anymore. All right, well, we'll clean that up in a second. So let's log these mouse events. I just created a bunch of them just by moving the mouse. And here we are. So we have a moved kind, and it shows us the column and row that it's in. And it says whether or not there's modifiers. Okay. And what I can do is try clicking the mouse. Click. And then quit. And what we can do is we see a down left and an up left. Huh. I wonder if I should make it so I can click and it'll go into that location. I don't know if you saw that, but the cursor changed. See how it's got a straight line across the middle of the mouse cursor here. And now it's got a sort of a circle. And I don't know what that's supposed to represent. I don't know if that's something that this that iTerm is doing, saying, okay, I no longer have the mouse. The mouse now is being controlled by. Let's see what a scroll event does. Let me just click down twice and up twice. Quit. Scroll up, scroll down. Yeah. So why don't we at least implement mouse scrolling? Right. Well, we can take a look at the kinds. We can change these, I guess. What kind of input event do we want for mouse? We can say scroll up and scroll down. And we can say match me dot kind. Can I extract the kind like that, or is that a private field? No, it's a pub. Okay, good. But they're all pubs. Okay, so if it's mouse event kind scroll up, then we're going to return OK. Oh, right, I want to refactor that too. Input event scroll up. And if it's scroll down, then we can do scroll down. Oops. And everything else we'll just ignore. Oh, we have to import that mouse event kind. And now we're missing input event scroll up. How do we scroll up? So the way we do scroll page up and page down is going to be similar, right? We can look here to see Control F, Control here. How do we do a scroll up? Oh, page up sets the cursor Y equal to the self row off, and then we go up a bunch of things. So scroll up can do something similar. We can say self cursor Y is equal to self row off minus 1, except we don't want to subtract 1 if we're already at the top. So if self row off is greater than 0, then we'll set self cursor rise, self cursor row off minus 1. And that should do a scroll up 1 row. Right. Right, is that all we need to do? Oh, and then do a move cursor to that location. Oh, editor key up. So we can actually do that. We can just say self, we don't have to do this. We can just say this, and then just say self move cursor, editor key up. That's even simpler. Right? So let's see if scroll down, we don't have that one yet. Let's do that one. Scroll down. For now we'll just do nothing. And see if this works. All right, so over here. So if I go page down, and then I scroll up. Look at that. And if I get to the top and I continue to scroll, it doesn't go anywhere. All right, so now we have to handle scroll down. So this would just be self cursor dot y is equal to, and then we want to put it on the last. Ooh, what's the last one? Last row. And then move cursor down. Actually, we want to do it in 2 different steps. I'm going to say if self cursor y is greater than self row off, then we're going to set self cursor y is equal to self row off. Else. That way the first cursor up is going to be, or the first scroll up will jump the cursor from the middle to the top, and the next one will move up 1 row, rather than jumping and scrolling at the same time. Let's try that. And then down. So how do we know what the last row is? It's page down. How do we do page down? Self cursor y is row off plus bounds y minus 1 min self. Oh, geez. which means we need to grab the bounds. Bounds changes every time you scroll because the bounds was also modified by the soft wraps. Right, so we'll do that. Okay, let's see if this works. So I'm going to quit. I'm going to go in here again. And then, so what I'm going to do is go down a few pages here. Ooh, I think I have another bug. Okay, we'll deal with that in a second. And now if I go scroll up. Oh, no, let's just scroll down. Scroll up. So I can. Oh, that's interesting. I'm going to scroll. Oh, right. Scroll down still does the jumpy thing. If I go here and I scroll up one tick, boom. There. Then it jumps to the top and then it scrolls this way. If I do this, it scrolls down. So what I want to do here is I want to say let new pause is equal to this if self cursor dot y is greater than, no, less than new pause. Self cursor y is equal to new pause, else. We move the cursor down. Here I'm setting cursor Y to self row off in both cases, but we need to check before whether or not we need to move the cursor up. I don't think I need to set it here because if it's not greater than, it must be equal to. Right? Let's try that. Okay. So if I go a page down. Okay, so here's where the first bug is. The cursor is off the screen by 1. So I must be not calculating the line offset correctly. All right. So now if I scroll up, oh, that's scrolling down. Right? And then so we can now jump the cursor up and down just using one click of the scroll wheel. And it'll jump up and down based on, yeah, okay. I wonder if there's a way to determine the speed at which you're doing a scroll up, because I can go really fast, but I'm still feel like I'm going slow. It'd be nice to say, oh, you're doing a lot of scrolling, maybe increase the number of down arrows you do. All right. That's a feature for another time. Let's add this. So all we did was add, okay, capture and release the mouse. We do this. Oh, and right, that's the other thing I wanted to clean up was all of these things. I don't need to return an event, an error code if we never get an error code. Oh, I guess we could get an error code here if this fails, right? So we still want a result code. Which for some reason I put in lib. Huh, okay. I forgot I did that. So this should still return an error here. Result code, key read fail. Right? So if we get a key read fail or actually an event failure, then we get the result. Then we quit out of the program. Okay. And then we lose any unsaved work. That's great. So that's that feature done, right? Git status, no, git, yeah, add source. All right, so we added scroll up and scroll down. We capture and release the mouse as needed. We translate the mouse events into the input events. We got rid of that thing. And there's a capture and release mouse. Okay, git commit -m, scroll up and down using the mouse wheel. All right. What else can we do with the mouse? I mean, I guess we could click to move the cursor to a specific location. Oh, maybe we want to fix this bug here. I don't know what's causing this bug. Yeah, here it is. Maybe if it's the last line wraps. Let's find out. Let's go all the way back to the top of the file. Boom. And see where the first place it fails. So here it's not putting the cursor on the last line. I did a page down and it's here. Did a page down, it's there. Now it is putting it on the last line. We have 2 rows that have gaps. And now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows that have gaps. And it looks like based on the relative numbering here, the cursor is now down below. If I hit page down again, now it's all the way up here. Oh, I wonder if it's calculating the new position based on the previous gaps, right? Because now there's only 1 gap, but we're 4 up from the bottom. And the previous screen had 5 gaps, and we were 1 down from the bottom. That's got to be it, right? That we're using the previous gap calculation to determine where to put the cursor. All right, what an annoying bug. Where would we be doing that? So let's take a look at our page down code. Yeah, all it does is say move cursor up and down. Oh, based on bounds Y of the current screen bounds. Oh, right. Well, what we would have to do in order to do it correctly is recalculate the bounds each time we do 1 editor key down. Editor key up doesn't matter because we're just going to put the cursor at the top of the screen. Right? It's just going to end up there. But so this shouldn't be bounds Y, a permanent bounds Y. This should be a recalculated bounds Y. Yeah. Right, it's setting the cursor Y too far down here because it's calculating it based on how far down we're going to go. I guess what we could do is just say num. Well, we have bounds Y. So we don't want to set cursor Y here. Maybe what we want to do here is move this because we don't need self cursor Y. Oh yeah, we do. We need to move the cursor to the location we want to start scrolling from and then start going down. So this sets the cursor Y to the current bounds and then just moves the cursor down a bunch of times. So that means, would that be the case then if I do this way? Go down, down. Oh, I think I see. In this case, when we move down, it actually moved the cursor up. Even though we scrolled everything down, the cursor got backed up. Right, so that would subtract 1 from Y for every time we scroll a wrapped line around. So even though we're putting cursor Y at the bottom, we're not calculating the right value for it, so that when we actually draw it, it actually ends up being too far down. You know, we could, let's undo all that. We could cheat screen clear. Oh, yeah, we are kind of cheating here. Although I think that's what the problem is. Or maybe it's this. Let's find out. Quit. And run. Page down, page down, page down. No. It's still doing that. I was hoping that it's saying, okay, if self cursor Y is greater than or equal to the raw offset, which is this line here, plus the count of rows on the screen, which in this case is 18, then we're going to set the row offset. Ah. Okay, that's different. That's a different story. Let's leave that alone. This is setting the row offset to self cursor Y minus row count to move the cursor back onto the screen. Actually, that probably should still be equals, right? But we want, for the scrolling down, we want this to be better. Which means we need a way to calculate the new bounds. And instead of doing it in screen clear, we should have it separate. Here's where we calculate the bounds. So let's make this a separate pub. Calculate bounds. Calculate height. Which is just going to be a U16. And it's just going to be all of this business. Right? And then this is just to self-calculate height. Actually, let's leave it separate. And make this a result like this. And we don't need a question mark there anymore. And then this just is a regular old U16, so we don't need to wrap this in an OK. And then up in the editor, screen.clear. We don't need that there. What we do need is calculate height. And it means we don't need to pass in a rows and row offset when we clear the screen, which makes a lot of sense. Okay. I think that does the trick. And then this just does this part here. Let's see if this builds. Nope. Oh. We don't need that anymore. What did we return? Oh, maybe we can just not return anything. What was this before I made this resize change? Let's go back and look. Because I just want to restore that. Where did I do screen resizing? Detect, there we go. I don't know why I couldn't find that. That's that. Oh, okay, so it's not there. Fix page down scrolling. Must be that one. Refresh screen. Where is screen clear? Because that's where I put it. Ugh, I did a lot of changes for this, didn't I? Clear? Yeah. So self-screen clear is here. Yeah, it used to be this. Oh, I see. I see what I did. Okay. So I just did this, and then I just did okay. That's kind of... I wonder if there's a cleaner way to do that. We don't need this operator anymore on that. And now what's wrong here? Oh, this... Yeah, we don't need this anymore. Oh, in die, we should also release the mouse, right? We're still having 2 warnings. On line 234. Oh, okay. So screen clear still returns an okay. That's right. I got to throw all those away. Okay. All right. I think that's good. Now we should still... So what did we fix, though? Calculating the height. So we want to make sure we can still do this page down, page up stuff. Right? It's just... Yeah, and there's the bug. Right? So we're still able to handle all this. Ooh, and then it failed. Okay. Yeah, because we went too far, right? Right? The line is 16, but the index is 17. Yeah, so this is the thing we need to fix. And we're getting the bell thing because we did disable the mouse on death. Is there a way we can capture a panic and run something? Rust run code after panic. Is there a way we can say, okay, we're panicking, but let's run this cleanup before we run code on panic without replacing default panic code? Set hook. Helps a little, not ideal. Why isn't that ideal? That seems pretty good. You can call take hook first and have your custom hook call the return value of that. Oh, because set hook is overwriting, whereas take hook gives it to you, and then you can just call drop or called on panic. Okay. So I can implement drop for editor or for screen and have it de-init the terminal. Mana says, there's the terrible practice of catch unwind. What is that? Catch unwind. Invokes a closure capturing the cause of the unwinding panic when it occurs. This function will return okay with the closure result. The closure does not panic. And will return error cause if the closure panics. The cause is returned with the object in which the currently undefined behavior to unwind from Rust code into foreign code. So this function is particularly useful when Rust is called from another language, normally C. This can run arbitrary Rust code capturing a panic and allowing a graceful handling of the error. It is not recommended to use this function for general try-catch mechanism. The result type is more appropriate to use for functions that can fail on a regular basis. Additionally, this function is not guaranteed to catch all panics. Okay. So. Oh yeah, we have to quit normally, and that way we can release the mouse. Okay, good. I have a die, which is doing exactly what I want to do for unwinding. Can we do this business here? Oops. Of creating a drop. Ooh, I guess I lost the window I was looking at. Oh well. So we can create a drop. It was a Reddit thing, right? Not that one. This is Stack Overflows. So delete all the Stack Overflows. No, I don't have them here anymore. Okay, it's gone. But I can implement drop for, right? Screen. Drop in standard ops. Does it say anything about panic here? Panic. Given that a panic will call drop as it unwinds, any panic in a drop implementation will likely abort. Note that even if this panics the values considered to be drops, you must not cause drop to be called again. This is normally automatically handled by the compiler, but when using unsafe code can sometimes occur unintentionally, particularly when using pointer drop in place. All right. Well, we don't have any unsafe code yet, so I think we're safe for this. Why don't we change this up? So where are we? What did I change there? Oh, I added this. Oh, I never put this in. This should have been part of that other. Darn it. All right. So what we're gonna do then? Okay, git add cargo toml before I forget. Okay. We're gonna modify the setup code. Enable raw mode, set screen capture mode. Okay, so what we're going to do is say self screen. There's already a new for the screen, right? So this is what should be doing all this work. We have a new screen, so we're going to do this. We're going to capture the mouse. That doesn't. Oh, yeah. Let's create an init function. Pub fun init self result, which does this work here. Does the capture mouse, and it enables raw mode, and then we're going to implement drop. And this will just have these guys here. And we don't need the screen in there because we're already in screen. So we have this. So now we can just say self screen init question mark. And then at the end, we can say self screen shut down like that. So this should still do the same thing, right? Except I missed something up. There. Okay. And now I would just want to say impl drop for screen. And what does that signature look like? Let's find out by using the compiler to tell us. It's just that. Okay, so that's pretty straightforward, right? And all we're going to say is self shut down. Oops. Still doesn't like it. Why not? Oh, because I forgot this. There we go. Okay, so now if this thing dies, it should shut down, right? Oop, expected blah because of default return type. Oh, I have to throw away the error result here. Still doesn't like it because I forgot the equal sign. Okay, so now if this dies, it should clean up the terminal properly, right? So I'm going to go. Now the way I got it to die was by hitting. But now the mouse has been released. Okay. So we're getting closer. And I think the reason this failed is because we have so many wraps that we ended up being off the screen. Line 255 here. Oops. Yeah. So this was just too big. And it's because pos y is too large. We're on a row that's too low. And that goes back to the editor code scroll down, where we're putting the cursor y in the wrong location. So this is where we say self let bounds is equal to self height. We don't need bounds.x, right? We just need bounds.y. So we can just say calculate height. And we can change all of these guys to height. I guess that was the only thing we needed. And then self screen calculate height. Again. Here. Right, and once we have the height, if self cursor.y is greater than or equal to self row off plus height, then self cursor.y is equal to self row off plus height. Self cursor.y.min self row off plus height. That make more sense? And that fails. Oh, I need to pass in the rows and self row off. And I have to do that here as well. And now we're getting a warning saying unused return value. Oh, I have to assign it. Okay, so now we'll do page down. And it's only doing... this is not page down anymore. This is down, it's down single arrow. Okay. That's weird because height should be the height of the screen. Let's see what it's actually saying for the height when we do this. Page down. The first one works, but if the cursor's here, then it only goes down one. Oh, I gotta reset this thing. STTY. And then over here, STTY. Reset. There. That looks better. It's saying height is 22. Brookzerker says, perfect, ship it. Page down is doing a single line at a time. That's fine. Thanks, Brooke. Are you starting early again today? I'll switch over to your stream as soon as I'm done with this disaster we've got here. So the height is correct. And so this should be scrolling down height amount. And then after we do that, we recalculate what the height of the screen should be. And then set the cursor to whatever is lower of the current cursor or the bottom of the screen. I wonder if I should do height -1 here. Brooke Zerker says, yeah, getting set up now. Cool. Yeah, so I was watching your stream yesterday. It was mostly JavaScript and Pulumi setup. I don't know what Pulumi is. And it's, so I just had it vaguely on. I'm afraid when you get back to the Rust stuff, I'll definitely be a little more active in chat. Right. So we calculate the height, and we need to calculate. We need to see what the new height is, dbg height, and then let's take a look at the cursor. Y. Let's call this new height so we can see the difference in the output here. Right. Let's do that. That should build. Oh, it doesn't build because I have to put a self there. And let's take a look. And page down, quit. All right. So the height was 22. The new height is 22, and the cursor is 22. The height is 22. The new height is 22 on the second one. And now the self cursor is 23. Yeah, infrastructure as code. So I've started learning the DevOps rel kind of whole thing. I was learning about Chef. I was learning about Puppet. I was learning about something begins with an A, Ansible. The whole infrastructure as code thing is fascinating. But as somebody who does kernel drivers for a living, it's a little... Yeah, it's not in my sphere of influence, shall we say. Right, and then that's right. I was asking you yesterday also about how do you test this? How do you even check to see if you're getting it right and the result is correct and doesn't change if you say you upgrade your version of Pulumi and now something broke and you don't realize it. So that's something else that's a little... But to be honest, I don't know how to test this editor either. I have a few tests, but they just, we just have config file things and, did Rust create an empty vector? Is this test? So it would be good to be able to test, whether the highlights worked correctly or the wrapping works correctly. And this stuff is just, I'm a little confused. So the new height is still 22, but self-cursor Y is somehow getting set to 23. Even though we moved the cursor down by 22. Cursor Y is going to be self row off plus height -1 or rows len as u16, whichever is bigger, whichever is smaller, right? I guess what we can do here is just print it out the before and after, because I'm still a little lost. Pulumi comes with a preview system, but besides that, yeah, testing is a little. You just get it working and then push, and you're done, right? Page down, which is fine. Yeah, I'm just maybe being a little. Okay, so here's the second one. This is the one we care about. Before is 44, so we're resetting it incorrectly here. It should still be at 44 after we're done. But roll off plus new height. Oh, because I haven't changed row off yet. That's why. So the new row off on the screen. No, move cursor should have updated row off. Let's just double check that. No, it modifies this, and we have to call scroll to update row off. Got it. So that's what's going wrong here. All right, let's get rid of these DBGs. So we don't want to reset the cursor Y based on the old roll off. We want to get the whatever the new roll off is. If we're doing a page down. If code equals key code page down, then self cursor Y is going to just be this plus the new height. Do we need cursor Y to be set here? We do need to set it from move cursor, right? Because move cursor cares about cursor Y. Oops. So we've updated cursor Y to the correct location based on the move downs, but we might need to move it up if the new height is too far. Oh, shoot. Yeah, I think the problem is here that we need to get the correct row off here. So do I need to call scroll here first? Maybe that's what I need to do. So, right, and that updates row off and call off. That's not what I wanted to do. That updates row off and call off, and then we can calculate the new height of the screen based on this. We are getting the screen bounds here. But this bounds is based on the previous height. Oh, okay, this is really annoying. This is really annoying. This was supposed to be like super simple. All, it says all we have to do is figure out how big the screen is, move the cursor down that many locations, and then redraw the screen. But if the screen height changes based on scrolling, that makes it a little more complicated. All right. I feel like I'm slowly running out of brain power here. So all right, so we get the height. We determine what we think the new cursor location should be. We then scroll down 0 to height. Right? And move cursor actually will stop at the end, right? If we go down, we'll stop incrementing Y. If we hit the end of the file, we'll stop incrementing Y. So now at this point, Y is height characters down, but it might be off the screen because of the whole issue. So if the new height, so now we're going to calculate a new height based on our new location. So do we have to save like old Y? And then we get the new Y location. And once we have the new Y location, we know how many rows we went down. Let new off is equal to self row off plus new Y minus old Y, right? Because if we only go down 1 or 2 lines because we've reached the end of the file, that's all we want to add to this. So this is a new row offset. So new off here. That's the new height of the screen. So now, if we're going down, self cursor Y should be equal to the new offset plus the new height. And who knows if that's going to work. Let's find out. All right, so down. No, we're already too far. Oh, look at that. You can see the T is white. That's interesting. So did it not calculate the new height correctly? All right, let's quit there and then we'll put the debugs back. DBG height and old Y. And then we're going to do these guys here. New Y and new offset and then new height. Okay, let's see what all that looks like. And then maybe that'll give us enough clues to get this right. Okay, page down. We only have to do it once to get it wrong. Okay, so the height is 22. The old Y is 0, right? The new Y is at 43. Really? We went 43 down? That doesn't make sense. Because we're only going down height. And it puts a new offset at 43. And the new height is 20. Is that correct? If I scroll back up here. Yeah, we had 20 lines. Wow. And Brooke Zucker says, the simple answer here is to require everyone to have the same size window. Yeah. Oh boy. All right, so we have okay. This is the first thing that's confusing me, right? So let's solve this one first. Height is 22. How did new Y get to be 43? Oh, I see why. Okay, now I get it. So what we're doing is we're setting cursor Y to the bottom row. And then we're going down. And I'm saying, and then it's going down. Every time we go down, we're adding to Y. So how did this work before, right? Because this doesn't seem like it would work because we're skipping past. This used to be my repo, right? Yeah. We're skipping past the. Let's take a look at the code real quick here of the non-changed code. How did it work? Here it is. Yeah, so we'd set Y to be the bottom. We then say for 0 to bounds Y, which is the height of the screen, move the key down. So you'd think that that wouldn't work because we're already moving cursor Y down, and then we move it down bounds Y more. Oh, is this moving it to the current bottom of the screen, right? And then we say, okay, now page down. Okay. So that would make sense if our new offset has to be 23 or something like that. Okay, so that's what we're calculating wrong. Is our new offset is the row offset plus the height, the old height. Okay, so let's try that. Okay, so that's the first bug. Okay, now page down. Now we're on 46. That's fine. If I say page down again, 67, page down again, 90. And now we're off the screen again here. So we still haven't fixed anything, but we could take a look at the last batch, which are these. Old Y is 89, new Y is 111. New offset is 91, and the new height is 18. So we're putting cursor Y at 18 plus the 91 offset. Right, because the old height was 21, so we should only be moving Y to the offset plus the height. But it's still moving it too far, even though we got the new height here. The new height is 18. Let me do that again, because I want to see what line we're on. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're on line 110 is what we ended up on. And it should have been 109. Which is what we calculated. Oh, maybe I have to subtract 1? This is off by 1 error. No, because then because that won't work, because now all of them are going to be up by 1. If I say page down, yeah. See how this is up. This should be down here, but it's still basing it off the previous height. Even though I'm All right. Well, at least it's not panicking. Well, let's just make sure it's not panicking anymore. Probably just keep going down. Nope, it failed. It failed. All right. So I can't even push this code. This will be something I need to fix later, I guess. Get status. So I'm gonna push the cargo toml because forgot to add feature from toml. I had toml for feature. PAT. There we go. Wow. And I'll push this up. And then we can play with this on Monday. Oh, Monday is Independence Day, so I might not be able to stream. We'll see. Anyway. That's that. That's my stream, and I am out of here. Have a great weekend, everyone, if I don't stream until Monday or Tuesday. And yeah, take care.